Bhishma asked Krishna, "How can you break your own promise and still call it Dharma?" Krishna did not answer with a rule. He answered with a moment. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna had promised he would not lift a weapon. He would only guide Arjuna. That was his vow. Bhishma knew this, and Bhishma was fighting with full force, not out of hatred, but out of duty. He was bound by his own vow to fight for the throne he had pledged to protect. So both men were standing inside their promises, and that is where the tension began. Bhishma was so powerful that the Pandava army was breaking. Arjuna could not stop him. Every arrow Bhishma released was exact. No anger, no fear, just skill. Krishna watched, not with excitement, not with pride, with concern. Because the point of the war was not to keep promises, it was to protect what was right. And Bhishma, in his loyalty to a vow, was allowing injustice to continue. So Krishna stepped forward. He lifted a chariot wheel. He ran toward Bhishma. For a moment, it looked like he was ready to strike. Arjuna was shocked. Bhishma was shocked. Krishna had broken his vow. Why? Because a rule had come in the way of truth. Bhishma understood this. He did not feel betrayed. He felt relieved. Because he saw something important. A promise is meant to serve what is right. It is not meant to replace it. Krishna was showing that rules are tools. They are not the final authority. If a rule protects truth, it is useful. If it blocks truth, it becomes a burden. Bhishma had kept his vow for decades. It gave his life direction. But on that day, it was also keeping suffering alive. Krishna stepped in to show this, not with words, with action. He was not saying, break all promises. He was saying, do not let a promise blind you. Life is not a contract. It is a moving situation. What is right today may not be right tomorrow. If you hold a rule without looking at the moment, you stop seeing what is actually happening. That is what Krishna wanted Bhishma to notice. Bhishma was not wrong in his loyalty. He was limited by it. He was looking at the rule. Krishna was looking at the result. This is the deeper lesson. Many people think Dharma means following rules. Krishna showed that Dharma means responding to what is real. Sometimes that matches a rule. Sometimes it does not. A simple example makes this clear. There is a red light on the road. You stop. That is a rule. But if an ambulance is behind you, you move. You did not break the rule because you are careless. You broke it because something more important was happening. Krishna did the same. His promise was the red light. Bhishma's unstoppable attack was the emergency. So he moved. Bhishma saw this and lowered his weapons, not because he was weak, but because he understood. Krishna had not betrayed Dharma. He had protected it. This is why Krishna is not easy to judge. He does not fit into simple ideas of right and wrong. He looks at the whole picture. He looks at suffering. He looks at fairness. He looks at what keeps life balanced. Rules are meant to help with that. They are not meant to replace it. Bhishma had lived by rules all his life. He was a man of vows. But in that moment, he saw that a vow without awareness can become a cage. It can keep you doing something that no longer makes sense. Krishna was not telling him he was wrong. He was showing him that even the noblest rule must bend when it blocks what is right. This is hard for the mind to accept. The mind likes fixed lines. It likes certainty. But life is not fixed. Every situation is new. Krishna's action was a reminder of that. He was saying, do not hide behind a promise if it harms what is true. Bhishma took this deeply. He did not argue. He did not defend himself. He saw that loyalty must be guided by understanding. Otherwise, it becomes stubbornness. Krishna breaking his vow was not weakness. It was clarity. He saw that Arjuna was losing. He saw that injustice would continue. So he stepped in. That step changed the whole direction of the war. It also changed how Bhishma saw Dharma. From that day, Bhishma did not see rules as absolute. He saw them as living things. They must breathe with the moment. If they do not, they become dead. This is the lesson hidden in that dramatic scene. Krishna did not break a promise lightly. He broke it because keeping it would have meant ignoring what was happening. And that is what rules are for, to help us see clearly, not to help us avoid seeing. So when Bhishma asked Krishna how he could break his vow, Krishna was really answering something deeper. He was saying, look at what the vow is meant to serve. If it serves truth, keep it. If it blocks truth, let it go. That is not disorder, that is wisdom. It means you are responding to life as it is, not as you think it should be. Krishna's action on that day was not a contradiction. It was a reminder that Dharma is not written in stone, it is written in awareness, and awareness must stay open. That is why Bhishma, even as he fell, did not feel anger, he felt understanding. He saw that Krishna had not betrayed anything. He had simply refused to let a rule become more important than what is right. And that quiet insight is still relevant because life keeps changing and truth is always here asking to be seen. When you look at your own life, you will find similar moments, times when a rule felt safe, times when a habit felt familiar, but the situation had shifted. Something new was needed. Holding the old rule may have felt loyal, but it was also keeping you stuck. Krishna's act shows that real care sometimes looks like disobedience, not because you reject order, but because you see something deeper. That is the subtle meaning of Dharma. It is not blind obedience, it is intelligent response. It is the ability to feel what is right now. Rules can guide you, but they cannot replace seeing. Bhishma's whole life was built on vows, and those vows were noble. But even noble things can become rigid. Krishna did not destroy vows, he freed them. He showed that a vow must stay connected to life, otherwise it turns into a wall. And walls block what is living. This is why the moment was so powerful. It was not about violence, it was about awareness. Krishna lifted that wheel to show that no rule is higher than truth. Bhishma lowered his bow to show that he understood. Two warriors, one silent lesson, and that lesson continues. Rules help us walk, but awareness shows us where to step. When you let awareness lead, rules find their right place. They support life, they do not dominate it. That is what Krishna was teaching, not with words, with a single clear action on a battlefield filled with noise. And that quiet clarity is what remains. Krishna knew that lessons taught through shock last longer than lessons taught through comfort. Bhishma's entire identity was built on keeping his word. He was respected because of it. He was feared because of it. But even something respected can become a shadow when it is not questioned. Krishna was not attacking Bhishma. He was freeing him from a cage he could not see. In that moment, Bhishma realized something very quiet and very deep. He realized that he had been loyal to a structure, not to life itself. His vow had once protected order. Now it was helping chaos continue. Krishna was not against vows. He was against blindness. That is what made the moment sacred. Bhishma did not feel humiliated. He felt understood. Because someone finally showed him that devotion without awareness can turn into harm, even when the heart is pure. This is why Krishna's act was not reckless, it was precise. He did not break his promise in anger, he broke it in clarity. He saw what would happen if he stayed still, and so he moved. That is what Dharma really is. Not what you decided years ago, but what is needed now. This is uncomfortable for the human mind. The mind likes certainty. It likes rules it can hold on to. But life does not stand still. Every moment asks something new. Krishna was showing that being true is not about being rigid. It is about being alive to what is in front of you. Bhishma's fall was not a defeat. It was an awakening. He saw that even the strongest vows must bow to what is right in the present moment. That is why he smiled even as he lay on his bed of arrows. He was not broken, he was released.